We are live. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode, another stream of the best manga anime stream on YouTube. I'm calling it now. I am a Week in Geekdom, or Gio, as the chat likes to call me. Welcome to another installment of Omnibroslive, where twice a month we convert ourselves into otaku bros, if you will, and talk all things anime and manga. And today, today we wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted to, in the spirit of the festivities, if you will, because I'd love the holidays, regardless of which one it may be. I like the holidays, and I enjoy all the shenanigans that ensue when that day comes, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving. In this case, Valentine's Day. Now, growing up, I always knew that it was Valentine's Day, but everybody always told me it's February. It's the month of love and friendship, and it's not necessarily about your girlfriend or wife or significant other. It can be about your friends, and I am thankful, and I love all my friends very much. I love the chat very much. I love you watching at home or wherever you may be. I love everybody, and I wanted to sort of break the norm, I guess, or go the cliched route, if you will, and talk about some of our favorite romance-themed manga and or anime. We're mostly going to be focusing on manga, and yes, this is just his favorite segment. Oh, he wishes he could be here right about now. So yeah, welcome everybody to another installment. As usual, thank you to the chat for showing up. Thank you so very much if you're watching this live. If not, help us out with a like button. Leave your comment down below about your favorite romance manga or anime. Doesn't matter. Either is fine. And always remember to hit the little bell notification so you know when new videos pop up. So if you can do me that favor and hit the like button, it does magical things to the YouTube algorithm, and we want this channel to continue growing. We want it to be the best place for live streaming when it comes to comics, collected editions, geeky news items, and of course, anime and manga, the otaku side of things. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully you guys will give us a shout out that way and help us help the channel grow, and more people can tune in. So yeah, there is a special announcement in this episode. A lot of people in the chat are they're already taking shots at what it may be. You're just gonna have to wait it out. Sorry, but you're gonna have to wait it out and see what the heck we're referring to with the special announcement. Although it's in the description title, you know what it is. I'm just playing along. Just, amuse me. So yeah, we are going to be doing an announcement later in the episode. But before we can get all of that started, before we can talk about anime, before we can talk about manga, before we can comment on the chat and their hijinks, I have to remind you guys that if you want some good old loving romantic comedy or straight up romance or shoujo manga, you can do so by visiting instocktrades.com, our sponsor website, where you can get your collected editions and manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if your order is beyond the $50 mark, guess what? You get free shipping. How about that? Free shipping, fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging that you can only get at instocktrades.com. There you go. With that out of the way, romance. By the way, for those wondering, my co-host will be arriving shortly. He was a little bit tied up with real life issues, but do not fret. The Rye guy will be here in a second. Let's read some comments. El Denver, is girl in short romance? it it falls under romance. I mean, we can talk about that. The definition of romance, then yeah, I think so, regardless of the subject matter. Yeah. Does Yu-Gi-Oh count? I mean, we know it's really a romance about Kaiba and his Blue Eyes cards. Heck yeah! I mean, there's a love there for the heart of the cards and the sportsmanship of throwing down monster cards. Of course, it counts. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Larry's here as well. Joe, something with root beer. Maybe. Who knows? So, with all of that said, we have everybody starting to enter the episode. So, thank you. Who voted dislike on Gio? Look, I I always keep a positive face. I don't let that stuff get to me. It's okay. Some people dislike that, but you know what? It helps out in the long run with the algorithm as well. Because more traffic, so yay. But it's okay. I don't let that stuff bother me. Larry says the only romance manga I've read is Our Dreams at Dusk and maybe Heart of Thomas, if that qualifies as romance. I actually want to read Our Dreams at Dusk, but I haven't had the time. But I do want to check that out. Travis, Poon Poon a romance? Maybe. It depends. It's got a twisted sense of humor on what a romance is for a teenager or a young adult, or at least that was my take on it, or what Asano was trying to do here. Hayden, we can do an episode on the. I actually thought of that idea a few nights ago. Best and worst anime father episode, where we can talk about Goku and Gon's dad and all the Shonen Jump characters and their dads. They're pretty terrible. We could talk about them on a separate episode. We can. I was thinking, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we do a pre-Father's Day episode like that? I'm sure a lot of people would go like, hey, wait, what? What are they talking about? Name a better love triangle than Guts, Casca, and Griffith. You got me there, man. You got me there. Okay, so let's start talking about our subject tonight, and that is romance, because I happen to be a fan of reading a story, not a genre. So I go in and out between. Oh yeah, waifu episode. Yeah, we can do that. Actually, before I continue, the original plan was to do a waifu themed episode, but I actually I didn't know if the audience would like that for like a whole episode, so I cut it out and left it at our favorite romance manga. We're not saying these are the best, just in case, because I know a lot of people like to get defensive on the internet whenever you say this is the top best romance manga, and somebody's going to comment, no, it's not. I totally get that. I understand that completely. So, romance, as I was saying, it's something pretty interesting because you get a lot of character work with a romantic story, not like your typical Shonen Jump title where it's more action oriented, the shonen battles and all that stuff, and it can be quite tropey. But then again, when you do a romance story, there are a lot of character beats that a lot of titles repeat time and time again. I'm not including harems because I don't. That's just me personally. I don't consider that extremely romantic. I consider that more along the comedic route. Just saying. Blair from Soul Eater. Yeah. Sure. I have to reread Soul Eater. I started a couple years ago and I never finished. I read like 2 or 3 volumes, I think. Not too sure about that. So, yeah, with that said, I'd left out harems, and I'm just focusing mostly on romance slash rom-coms. And I have here 6 titles that I think you can check out that you'll like. And if you're in the mood, the Valentine's Day mood, you can pick it up at our sponsor website, In Stock Trades. Anime or manga news of the week segment out of Japan. The problem with that's actually like a cool idea. But the problem with that is that the show is twice a month. So I would have to get all the news stuff and compile it into 2 hours per month. I kind of don't want to do that. My channel, if you guys want to subscribe to my channel, it's heavily focused on anime, manga, and comics. So I'll be completely transparent with you guys. You might just see that idea on my channel, We Can Geek Them. And without further ado, my co-host, Fry Guy. How you doing?
What's up?
What
I'm
is
doing
up?
well.
You look quite dashing today, if I do say so myself.
Thank you. You look quite handsome as well, sir.
Aw, yay.
I was about to say dashing, and I was like, I can't say the same thing. Just do the other way.
So, how is everything before we get on to the topic? Let's chat. How you doing? What's up? What's been happening?
Things are good. I've been here home solo for since Sunday night because my wife is out of town for business. She's coming back tomorrow, right in time for Valentine's Day. So I'm excited.
Nice.
We're gonna go get some dinner, maybe watch a movie, maybe watch Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know. We'll see what happens. See where the night takes us.
That's Sonic. I'm still perplexed by that movie. Like it completely. I don't know. I thought I was gonna hate it, but now everybody's loving it. Now I want to see it. I know about the post-credit scene. I'm excited about it.
I know that I enjoyed Detective Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
I know that my wife was not the biggest fan of that movie. So what that tells me is my wife just texted me. She's excited that Brooklyn 99 started. So I know from that fans of the franchise are going to be the ones. I think that's going to be similar here. It's fans of the franchise who are going to be enjoying this film, fans of Sonic and stuff, which makes me feel like, okay, cool. They've done something that does the character right for the fans. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm letting her know I didn't watch it yet. We both get kind of defensive on that stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping that if I do wind up watching it, that's how I feel. I'm like, okay, cool. As a fan who played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 back on the Genesis when I was too young to really remember. Oh, now she's watching without me. Okay. Okay, wow. Thanks. I just texted her. I'm on the air and I let them know of your betrayal.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm hoping that when I watch it, I'll have that same feeling I did with Pokemon, where I'm like, okay, cool. This did pretty respectful job. It's not like the greatest movie in the world, but as far as doing a live action Pokemon movie, this is more or less what I would want. So I'm hoping for the same thing from Sonic. I'm hoping for something that is respectful of the original source material and something that we can enjoy. And she sent me this, and it says top 10 anime betrayals.
Nice. Well done. I love it.
But yeah, I do think my plan for the weekend, just to go on to like movie talk for a second, I think because my wife is interested now in seeing Birds of Prey. She wasn't before, but now is. So I think that we'll go see that. And then we might be watching my sister-in-law's kids during the weekend because they have a funeral to go to. So we might take the kids to go see Sonic. And it's funny because we took the kids to see Pikachu. So coincidence.
Nice. Cool.
So yeah, if not, I'll figure a way. Maybe I don't necessarily want to wait until home media, but maybe I'll find a torrent or something because, we're all pirates here. Yo-ho.
All right. So we will be talking about those movies later. We're in the spirit of the holidays with Valentine's Day, and I kind of wanted to talk about... You're wearing pink. There you go. I wanted to talk about our favorite romance in manga. Matthew asked us about romance like harem, and Larry had the exact response that I was thinking of. I mean, it's not that we don't... Like, we're going to talk about it, harem and the thing in manga culture, but I don't consider it like the most romantic thing of all time because it's more comedy based. I'm thinking more of a traditional sense of romance. I don't know. What do you think?
I chose a little bit of everything. I picked out some things that are like, I picked romance, I picked friendship, I picked, guys who are friends. I picked a little bit, like, I have a stack because I think, for me, it's important to acknowledge relationships as a whole. Like, it's important to acknowledge friendship. It's important to acknowledge romantic relationship, familial relationship, and stuff like that. And also all of the different types of romantic stories. So while I have straight romance stories, I also have things that are not so just romance. And I grabbed Love Hina whenever harem was mentioned, and while this could be designated as a harem type series, Love Hina at its heart, and it's been literally years, I read this when I was like a sophomore in high school, but at its heart has the romance that is between the two main characters, Kitaro and, God, I don't remember anyone's name, but the
other person.
The main character here, and it's that always gets interrupted by other stuff. But the harem, the idea of harem series, for those who aren't aware, it's basically when you have one central character. My dog just knocked over a bunch of shot glasses.
They didn't break?
No, I think they're fine. Resilient glasses. You have a central character, be it male or female, and they find themselves in a situation where they're surrounded by the opposite sex or people who are interested in them, basically, or who could potentially be interested in them. And it usually, like Love Hina, it has the character is focused on one person, or maybe they're focused on a couple different people and they're making up their mind. Tenchi Muyo, those series are kind of a good example too. And it's like obstacles. The character might be interested in just one of these potential romantic interests, but the others are getting in the way, and it usually leads towards comedic things where the person they're interested in walks in on them in a weird situation and stuff. It's not the most endearing romantic series. Like that, those aren't the most endearing series you'll find, but I find it hard pressed to talk about, romance type manga without bringing up a harem series, just with how popular it is.
And man, Love Hina is one of his picks. I was gonna say, Oh My Goddess. That's a fun example of a harem that's not too racy. Mm-hmm. It can still be enjoyed by a lot of people.
I haven't read it or watched it.
Mason Ikoku, I have not read it, but I know a lot of people love that.
No, I don't have, because they're re-releasing it. But I do have two other series by Takahashi.
Takahashi, yeah.
I'm looking at the title of Ranma while I say it. Because Rumiko Takahashi does a lot of great work with romantic series. And also I feel like these two don't fall firmly in line with the idea of like, one guy meets one girl and they love each other. And I just remembered another series that I should have grabbed off my shelf. But yeah, there's a whole spectrum, if you will, of types of series we can talk about here.
Mm-hmm. I'll kick things off. Well, technically you started with Love Hina, but
so throw that one to the side. We're always done talking about it.
I'm going into the more tragic side of things. If you guys know about the series, and it is, of course, the manga series Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, which translates to Your Lie in April. I think it classifies more as a romantic drama, but it's basically about the story of this piano prodigy student. He's just excellent at the piano. He's a stellar kid, but when his mother dies, he has this mental breakdown. His usually with anime and manga that deal with musicianship, you see a lot of verbal abuse because of the parents wanting their kids to be the absolute best and prodigies. So they end up either resenting their parents or developing some sort of post-traumatic stress, stuff like that. And that happens with our character, Kosei, where he goes into full mental breakdown while performing at a recital. And it sort of results in him losing his ability to hear music, because you always know that musicians, like, they hear it on an instinctual level, I guess. So he's perfectly fine in modern day, or in the present day, sorry, with his friends and hanging around and not really doing much of the music stuff until he meets the character, which I am looking for the name because I cannot remember. Kaori. There you go. I always forget the names. Kaori is this free-spirited musician girl who is such an energetic and rambunctious bundle of joy, and she in turn is the catalyst for our character to evolve and come to love music again and find that passion. And obviously they develop feelings, and there's a lot of romantic sappy stuff. There's also a bunch of tragedies that occur in this book. Same with the anime adaptation, which is freaking phenomenal. So if you're in for a sweet time about a budding love romance set on a slice of life spin with music and all that stuff, I cannot recommend Your Lie in April enough. Yeah, you will cry your eyes out, but it's going to be a worthwhile experience, I think. So
Well,
that's
I thought you were going somewhere else. And now I feel kind of funny because I was about to be like, and then like, well, you chose the same thing. And then I was like, oh, that's not good thing I didn't embarrass myself. But you said like going more into the dramatic and the tragic type stuff. Now I feel awkward bringing this one up. There's romance in this, and we have to talk about this series every single time we have the chance to. So I mean, I'm going to bring it up. But the ultimate romance revenge story, Berserk.
Yeah, actually, let me pull up the comment because one of our chatters talked about Berserk. What the heck it was that comment? There you go. Name a better love triangle than Guts, Casca, and Griffith.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, Berserk, it's even been described, I think, by Miura. He said he thinks of it as a shoujo title that has kind of seinen attributes to it. It has a lot of action and stuff in it, but at the end of it, it has at its heart, there's a lot about it that kind of matches the shoujo. It deals a lot with emotion, more than just, strong guys and stuff like that. And there is, the core theme behind everything. And I don't want to spoil things because a lot of people are reading it for the first time in these beautiful hardcovers. But the core theme for the majority of the series is about revenge in reaction to basically something to do with a lost relationship. So that's why I pull it out. I'm like, man, at its heart, I could kind of say that this is a romance series.
Yeah, there is.
I wouldn't recommend if someone's like, "Oh, I want to read a romance manga." I'm not going to be like, "Berserk is the one for you." I'd probably be like, "Oh, you like to read about demons and blood and guts and gore and this stoic strong guy that has a heart of gold under his, scars and one arm." Berserk, but it has that romance behind it, and that's really the core thing behind it is the love between a couple of the main characters and what he's willing to go through in revenge for what has happened, essentially.
Yeah, that's really. I hadn't thought of that about the shoujo comparison. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I wish I had the link because I might have. It may have been Alex that shared it, where it was Miura kind of spelling out that he does, because a lot of people will say, Berserk is shoujo, Berserk is shoujo, and he kind of says, kind of, yeah, in ways you can look at it like that.
Yeah, especially the. I really like the love story between. Mini spoilers, I guess, between Guts and Casca. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and it's very endearing. It's a very genuine story, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge driving force of the series too. Like I think it's done very well. Anyway, did you want to pull another one real quick? Ow, should we get down?
Hey, hi Candace. Hi everyone.
Hello.
All right. Some of these books are stuff I read digitally, so I don't have the physical copies. And the next one that I wanted to talk about, going a little bit lighter, actually one of my favorite comedic series. It's a rom-com, and I've been praising it simply because of the comedy alone, but it's actually a pretty wacky, cute love story, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Kaguya-sama, Love is War. Kaguya-sama is a Shonen Jump title, and it is about a student council president, Miyuki Shirogane, and the vice president of that council, Kaguya. And you look at them and you think they're the perfect couple. They're really in sync. They're really smart. Both of them are A students. And Kaguya is the daughter of a wealthy, important family in Japan, and Miyuki is a top student, and he's known across the prefecture in the city that they're living in. I can't remember which city it was. And although they like each other, they're too stubborn and too dumb to realize this fact and confess to one another. So what follows is a long comedic cat and mouse game of them trying to outwit each other and trying to get to which one can confess first to their love, and they do a lot of crazy schemes and stuff, but overall it's a blast. And you have a really cool supporting character in Chica, which a lot of people fell in love with. She's wholesome, wacky, does great bizarre humor, and it's just a delight. If you want something lighthearted, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's a different sort of rom-com between high school students, I guess. Kaguya-sama, Love is War is worth it, in my opinion.
Going in the same line with comedic series, and this is, I don't know if you might have this one, but this kind of it's not really a romance series, but I want to say it's more of a bromance series, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a super popular one right now. A lot of people are reading and loving this one, is Grand Blue Dreaming. Now, I haven't read this most recent volume, but Grand Blue Dreaming, we talk about it a lot. And a lot of people watching might have already read or heard about it, but it's a comedy series about a bunch of guys who are in a diving school, basically. But whereas, they're in this diving school and they learn how to dive and all this stuff, most of it is about them getting drunk together and just broing it out. And I wanted to bring this into it because it's not a romance series. in the terms of, two people and a couple and stuff, but it's important, I think, to acknowledge your friendships, and I'd say bromance, and that doesn't mean it has to be guys and guys. Guys and girls who are great friends, guys and guys who are great friends, girls and girls, and everything in between and beyond. It's important to acknowledge these things, and a lot of series, I think that shonen series are often really successful in showing the power of friendship and stuff like that. And I really respect that. And I've talked about it on the JoJo show, where I said, you guys are my friends, and how much that I love our friendship, and I love you guys as my JoJo bros. And that's what I see in here is Grand Blue Dreaming is a great example of a series where if you want to not necessarily read a romance, but you want to see something about guys who are just being the best of buds, who are getting into hijinks, who are having tons of fun together, who are just there for each other, like you hopefully are with many of your friends, then this is a great series for that. It's fun, it's lighthearted, it's a little mature sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's something that I know a lot of us specifically state that we will go to as a read when we need a pick-me-up. It's a series that is an excellent pick-me-up when you're having a bad day and you need a good laugh. It's a good one to sit down with and just laugh, just enjoy yourself. And I think that's something that is really important.
The art on that book is lovely. I really like the character designs.
Oh man, there's a lot of really great artwork, and I don't want to flip through this mainly because I haven't read it, so I don't want to spoil myself, but the artist on here is really great with not only character designs, but there's really, really fantastic attention to detail in backgrounds and scenery that I think is kind of often overlooked in more comedic titles like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because usually they'll go for plain, simplistic backgrounds because the focus is on the characters, but that's cool.
Right. And on that one, I think that they focus on scenery, background, surroundings, because there are sequences where they actually do show not just guys drinking and partying, but when they actually go diving, there's great underwater sequences showing, sea life and all that kind of stuff. It's very nice.
Nice. Shout out to Matt Miranda for tuning in. Thank you, buddy.
What up, boy?
And Larry, Comey can't communicate. I think so.
I got it on my stack. Brother, I have it on my stack. It's I love this series. Gio and I have talked about it a lot. I haven't read this newest volume 5 yet, but I think that this falls into that friendship zone of things. And I haven't, I know that there's like 15 volumes in Japan, so no spoilers if anyone's read beyond this. I don't know if 2 of the main characters wind up having a romantic relationship, but this is such a great, like, lighthearted, sweet series. Like, these characters are so wonderful. You root for them. I watch these characters and I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't care if they wind up together or not. Like, I love that they love each other so much, at least as friends. And again, the friendship aspect of stuff is sometimes what we need to be reading about and what we need to see to, remind us that we need to love our friends. We need to appreciate our friends and let them know how we feel. But this is another that, just like Grand Blue Dreaming, I'd recommend if you're having a sour day, if you're coming home from a long day at work or at school or whatever it might be, if you had an argument with someone and you need something to just lift your spirits up, Comey is perfect for that. It's so beautiful. It's so well done. And I cried like in the first volume because it's just that goddamn sweet.
It's a really wholesome story.
Yeah. That's literally the best word to use, is wholesome.
Let's see what I got. I usually don't point things out because I want to keep it positive, but this is too funny. I know, right, Candace? 6 thumbs down. Somebody's not in the Valentine's mood. Yikes. But
it's Sexual Awareness Day.
I mean, I stated it at the beginning of this episode. I haven't mentioned it to you, but I grew up I don't want to say believing, but saying that, or everybody teaching me that it's not about Valentine's Day per se. The whole month is to celebrate love and friendship. And yeah, what's wrong about that? Love is the most powerful force in the universe. So
I really like that, because I think that we all too often focus too much on the idea of like I was saying, Single Awareness Day. Like, you're sitting there like, fuck love. And I've talked to people literally who are like, I don't believe in love. And it's like, but what about the love of your friends? What about the love of your family, the love of your pet? Like, I think it's a beautiful idea to say that this entire month is here to celebrate these different types of loves that you have for different people. Different, even my dogs here who are tearing up my blankets and stuff to celebrate that love. And that's why I picked so many different, like, unconsciously, without even having heard your commentary about that. That's why I picked so many different titles, and then I have another stack of like 6 more to talk about, because it's about love, not just about romance.
Hell yeah. Speaking of love and romance, have you started, or did you pick up O Maidens in your Savage season? Because I think that is one of the funniest slice of life / rom-coms of this era of modern manga. It's written by Mari Okada. She was the one that did Anohana, the anime, and Makia, the movie. This is her first manga, and it can be a little bit embarrassing on the subject matter, but I loved it. I watched the anime adaptation, which I believe that she helped create, and the manga is just ending. You can get the final volume soon. I think I mentioned this before on this stream on a previous episode, but O Maidens in Your Savage season follows the character of Kazuza. She arrives in high school determined to make friends, and she joins a literature club. All the girls in this literature club, they love reading, and one of the club's icebreakers is to say the one thing you want to do before you die. The prudish one of the group, the president, she's the most popular one in the school, I should say, and she blurts out that sex is the one thing that she wants to do before she dies. So all these other girls who were not thinking about this suddenly, as it happens with teenagers and puberty and all that stuff, all these thoughts and situations just keep running and appearing and happening. And what follows is, it's a sex comedy, but it's not really graphic at all. It's not about the sexual stuff. It's more about first loves and embarrassing situations growing up, and how these characters manage to deal with sexuality. Because when you're a teenager, everything's so wild and different. And I thought it was really cleverly done. And the girls are fascinating. They're really well-written characters, and what they go through. You care about each and every one of them. They all have different things that are happening, different plot lines, I should say. And to see how they interweave with each other and how they resolve these issues, I loved it. It's one of the best modern rom-com manga, in my opinion. And I think everybody should give it a shot if you want to check something like that out. Plus, the art looks great. The art is really pretty.
I haven't read that one or watched that one, but that sounds really entertaining.
It's published by Kodansha.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's. I think they're a little bit oversized. I might be wrong about that.
This one is one that I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but we both absolutely love, and I just finished the new volume of it, and that's Beastars.
Oh.
Now, any chance I can get to talk about Beastars, I'm going to. And because that one of the primary relationships in here is, or one of the primary things happening in the series is basically the idea of, I guess you could say, forbidden love, which in the case of this series, because they're all anthropomorphic, animals and stuff, it's essentially you have a relationship between a carnivore, a wolf, and an herbivore, a small bunny, that it's not necessarily a relationship, but like something that's possibly budding. And this character dealing with a lot of the strength behind it is the emotion there of him dealing with what his feelings are, how he feels mentally about this. Is this normal? Is this abnormal? Should he feel like it's abnormal? How does he really feel about this person, about this other character? And I think that it does such a great job of portraying the emotions of a teenager, of a high schooler, feeling something that they don't know if they should feel. And the way that it plays with the different animal species and stuff, you can compare. Obviously, there's a lot of comparisons drawn with Zootopia, the movie. They both came out around the same time, actually. And it deals a lot with, you can compare things with the herbivores and carnivores to like race issues and stuff. And obviously with this, it's a lot more to deal with the similarities between, nowadays at least, homosexuality and very, different than heterosexuality, various different sexualities. And I think it does a wonderful job of portraying that. It does just such a good job of getting into these characters' heads, of them thinking about or at least him thinking about what's right, what's wrong, what's okay, what's weird, what's normal and what's abnormal. And is it okay, like, for him to have these feelings? Should he try to stop these feelings? Should he try to, do something else? What is that he should do? Myself, being a straight man, I've not dealt with those specific feelings before, but I know, having even just feelings for a girl growing up, you kind of sit there like, do I like this girl? Like, do I want to ask her out? Stuff like that. So I can at least relate a little bit in that. And it portrays that kind of uncertainty that a teenager has. It portrays that extremely well. But that's just one of like a million reasons to read Beastars. It's such a good series.
And Gio killed me with Beastars. The ending of Volume 4 left me dying inside. That cursed cliffhanger.
Dude, I just, like, of any series, this is the one that I'm like, damn, should I be reading this online or something? Because I hate waiting. It's so good.
I mean, Volume 5 is just around the corner. It's next month. And
it took me long enough to get this one in the mail that it's almost out. Yeah,
I think, no, I wish they would publish that sooner, because Viz is upping the schedule on Demon Slayer. Come summer, it's going to be released a monthly, because they have a lot of catching up to do. I wish they would do that with Beastars.
Well, maybe if the anime succeeds well enough, they might have reason to.
Yeah, the anime comes out next month, actually. So that's a good point. If people watch that and there's a demand for the books, then we might see that happen. That's a good point. Forgot about that.
I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers that that's what winds up happening, because that's really what pushes it. And I know that there was a recent article that was shared talking about the pattern of sales for Demon Slayer, for instance. And so I'm wondering if we'll see a pattern of the sales on Beastars, if there's going to be a lot more sales of that series. Are we going to see it go out of print and have to go back to print multiple times like we did with the early Demon Slayer volumes?
Oh man,
I hope all of y'all just freaking buy it so that we can get our wish. Like, you'll probably wind up liking it, but just grant us this.
Mr. Zeitgeist, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you. Just Mason. I've been watching a lot of romance anime, and my wife said, I like it when you watch anime now. You're in such a better mood. That's nice.
Well, that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, all I watch, I dropped, for everybody watching, I dropped regular TV. I dropped most movies, and I just, since the channel's going to be more focused, or my channel, sorry, it's going to be more focused on anime and manga, I've only been watching anime when it comes to TV, and I get such a love out of it because there's so many shows out there to watch, different genres and all that stuff. So yeah, I get that. All right, what do you got? What other book you got for us?
I kind of don't remember why I grabbed GTO, but I did. Pull out the shelf. It's a comedy series, and there does wind up being a romantic relationship here, but it starts with the main character Onizuka tries to become a teacher so that he can. He's a younger guy, and he wants to hook up with students, basically. So this is kind of the wrong direction of the romance stuff, but it winds up being a really like transformative time for him as a character, and that's really what a bunch of the series is about, is how he evolves from being this crude, perverted, one-minded guy to caring about the students and stuff and forming actual relationships with people. And so it goes back to, not just romantic relationships that we're talking about here, but love in general. And, despite the original intent that Onizuka has, where you literally see him at the beginning of the series, like looking up a chick's skirt, for lack of a better term, just saying it as if I'm Onizuka here. Yeah, and do a little flash, but boom, like first page, he's looking at someone's wings. He evolves as a person. He evolves into someone that's a lot better, a lot more cognizant, and a lot more caring about his students, and forms friendships and meaningful relationships with those students. And it's a series that I absolutely love. It's been a long time since I've read it, so I don't know how well it's aged, but damn it if I didn't love it when I read it back in high school.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite for sure.
I know David's a huge fan, David Codd. I don't know if you're watching right now, but I know that you love it.
David, if you're watching, leave a comment or on the chat.
You were acknowledged.
Hey, Freddie. What's up? Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Zeitgeist.
Thank you.
Just Mason says, yay, GTO is the best. Is outside the box solutions.
Did you have any others right now?
Yeah. This is sort of brief on my part because I really need to. It was originally a light novel, then it became an anime, and then it's a manga. So it's a little confusing, but I wanted to briefly mention Toradora, because I thought that was pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's a rom-com about this high schooler that he wants to find love, but he's in love with a friend, classmate, but he ends up encountering the school's most, and I have it written here, the school's most dangerous animal of the highest risk level, which is the character of Taiga. And Taiga, she's super short and ferocious, and they call her Tiger Taiga because of her name, pun, and her personality and stuff. So it's a really cute series, really funny series that I do recommend if you're into that sort of thing. She's kind of in the delinquent route, sort of, not really. It's been a while since I've watched the show and been reading the manga and stuff, but I do recommend Toradora if you want to check something funny out with great animation. And the manga looks great too, by the way. The drawings, I looked at it a couple minutes ago before the stream, and it looks pretty cool. I can't show you the Blu-rays because I don't got the manga, but yeah. Yeah. Fun fact. No, I can't open this because it's all busted up. It arrived. Yeah, it's an Aniplex. Is this Aniplex? I don't know who published this. No, Nis America. It arrived all damaged, and I had to glue the whole top of the case jewel because it arrived damaged. It was pretty bad. So,
damn.
Yeah. The limited edition Blu-rays are out of stock. You can't get them anymore, but you can get this version, which is, it has the Blu-rays and the DVD, and it comes with a little booklet and stuff. So yeah, these are the two characters. Let me highlight myself real quick. So yeah, these are the two characters, and their relationship is pretty funny. And you know, it goes into the whether they'll fall in love or not, or you know, he still likes the other characters. This one, the red-haired college student. They're in high school. Jesus, the high school student. So yeah, it's a fun series. I do recommend it. And the manga is, I think it's still being published over here. So yeah.
Cool. I have one more that's like a friend type series, and this is, I mentioned earlier, is JoJo, and I wanted to grab specifically part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, because this is the one I think that focuses the most on a group of friends. The guys are, you know, mostly high schoolers who hang out with each other and stuff, and a lot of it is them really forming strong personal bonds with each other and really caring about each other and what's going on in their town and stuff. And I think that that's a lot of what really brings this part, at least of JoJo, together. But I can also mention a romantic relationship that takes place in this part between Koichi, this little guy right here, and he has his initially a stalker, but eventually a actual relationship with Yukako, a stand user, who is introduced as kind of an enemy. So cheating on that one, and I do have a romantic relationship.
Yeah, you got the manga. I can show you the anime.
I have the anime upstairs.
You got it? You got the set?
Yeah, I forgot to grab it. I don't have the newest one though. I don't have the 5th box set.
Yeah, I got this last month, I think. Yeah, volume set 5.
Yeah, it's such a greatly done adaptation. The anime is. I've been reading the hardcovers of the manga as they come out, and having watched the anime and then reading this, like the anime adaptation really is great. It's fantastic, but I do have a soft spot for the original artwork from the manga, just that like nice late 80s, early 90s work, and he's got such a great like art style, very nice detail. This is just a random page, but nice detail. I absolutely love it, and I love we've got Josuke with his pompadour. I have a weakness for guys with pompadours.
I need to highlight this because it's pretty funny. How did JoJo get into the conversation of romance manga?
How does it not get into the conversation of romance manga? I'm also wearing a JoJo shirt, so lay off. It's about romance. It's the bromance that matters here. It's like we said, like Joe is saying, we're celebrating love in all of its forms, and that includes the bromance, the strong friendships that these guys have. The power of friendship, for Christ's sake, is the power of shonen manga.
Nice.
But if we want the traditional romance type stuff, I got that too. I have 2 more. I kind of flashed these earlier, but I got the 2 Rumiko Takahashi series, Ranmo and Half and Yurusei Yatsura. They're both comedic series, but I've only read a few volumes of Yurusei Yatsura, or LUM, as they called it in the US previously. This one it's more of a gag kind of episodic series, at least the early volumes are, where this alien named Lum comes down to Earth, and she is interested in a young man named Ataru, and her romantic interest towards Ataru kind of gets in the way of his relationship with his Earth girlfriend, basically. So there's a lot of gags that kind of take place between he's interested in Lum because Lum's an attractive alien, basically. But he also has his girlfriend. He's attracted to her and stuff. So it's a lot of that kind of the sentimentality of the harem series, but I don't want to say a lot about that because, like I said, I've only read the first several. Like I've read the first 3 U.S. releases, so that's 6 volumes out of like 38, I want to say. But Ranma, I've read all the way through, and this series is great.
Nice.
So Ranma, if you're not familiar, basically our main character, Ranma Saotome, and his father, who's the panda back here, Genma, are martial artists, and they're training in this, basically this place is a lot of cursed hot springs. And when you fall into one of the hot springs, it's always like, oh, this was the spring of the, of the cursed lady or the cursed panda or the cursed pig. And it's basically like that person or that animal died in this spring. And what happens when you fall in there is every time you are hit by like hot water, you turn into this other thing. So Ranma, whenever he's hit by hot water, maybe it's the reverse, hot or cold water, he turns into a girl. He falls into the cursed spring of the drowned girl. His father Genma falls into the one of the panda. So every time he gets hit by the water, he turns into this panda. So that's kind of where the comedic aspect lies. The romantic aspect, there's an arranged marriage between Ranma and the daughter of his father's old friend, Son Tendo. They have an arranged marriage between one of his daughters. And as a lot of stuff with arranged marriages go, Ranma's not really about it. He's not really fond of the idea of marrying this girl that he really doesn't know. And this girl's not really fond of marrying Ranma because he's, not really she's not really attracted to him in any sense. And plus he transforms into a girl when he gets hit by water, and she's like, what the heck, that's really weird. So it's, comedy ensues from there. It's really fun. It's a really funny, endearing series. And you get to see the friendship and romance really bud between these characters. And that's, I think, the main draw. It's, I came here for the comedy, but I stayed for the relationship. Mm-hmm. And it's something that drew me through the entire 36-volume series. I know it was reprinted recently in 2-in-1 volumes, so I don't know if those are still in print, but that really drew me through the entire series, which for a 36-volume series was really hard for young, 13-year-old me who didn't have much money, but I did what I had to. I mowed as many lawns as I could to be able to afford to buy the entire series because I wanted to see what the heck was going to happen with these characters. But it's not just Ranma and and his father. There's a lot of other really fun characters that get involved in here. A lot of fun, fellow suitors, a lot of interesting people who fell into other wells. Ranma has, I think it was an old rival of his who winds up popping up. And it's just a ton of fun. It's just a really great, fun series that I highly recommend if you can check it out. And by the end, you'll be satisfied with the budding romance as well. Nice. That's the last of the series, man. That's everything. The only other one that I was going to pick out, and I don't want to run back upstairs to go get it, but I'll mention it here, is the baseball series Cross Game.
Yeah, you've read that. How is that?
It is very good. And that is one where I love the story of childhood friendship. And that is what this one has so well. It's tragic. It's fun. It's got everything in there. It has every emotion. Like, I cried from being sad and from being happy with this book. It just made me feel those things. And it has such a great, it follows such a really real relationship. It's something that feels really just factual from start to finish, where you have, this guy meet this girl and as their children, and then just grow with them. And it's something where it doesn't focus 100%. Like, I wouldn't call it a romance series. It's, a drama, I guess, but it's more about these characters living their lives and how their lives intertwine with each other. And then at the end of the day, maybe there is something there, maybe there's not, but you'll be happy to have followed these characters. And it's something that I completely forgot about, and I don't know how, but it's such a great series. It's collected across 8 volumes in the US. Most of them are 2-in-1s. The first is a 3-in-1, so a nice thick book. Really fantastic series. Highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of sports manga. Like myself, I'm not a fan of sports, but I love sports manga. And this is a really great baseball series. It does a really good job of portraying the sport, portraying someone who plays baseball and wants to, really succeed as a baseball player. It's just great.
Have you read Touch as well?
I haven't.
But I've heard Cross Game is better.
I haven't read anything or watched anything else by that creator. I know that he also did, I think it was Orange Range, I think. Was that what the series is called, or is that the name of a band?
I know Orange, the love manga, which I forgot to talk about today.
I thought about that, but I haven't read it. Orange Range is a band. They did the original theme song for Bleach. There's another one he does that I think has orange in the title.
Gotcha.
That was a killer song. Bleach's first opening was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get off topic a little bit.
We're near the end of the episode, but I wanted to talk briefly, just name a few series that I like, that I recommend. Orange is a great series for you to check out. It's basically about this high school with a bunch of kids, and the main protagonist, this girl, she thinks it's a confession or a love letter, and it turns out it's a letter from her, I believe, like 10 years into the future or something like that. And she can't believe it at first, but as things start to fall into place, she realizes that it is true, that it is a letter from herself from the future, warning her about falling in love with a certain character in the series and dramatic stuff that happens. And it's a really good romance / sci-fi story that I really liked. I enjoyed the concept of it being with time travel and the whole letter aspect and stuff. I thought it was really well done. It's only like 2 Omni-sized books, manga, so they're thick Omni manga, as I like to call them. I do recommend them. There's a side story or a spin-off that you don't really need it, but if you read it, you're going to enjoy it too. The story is pretty self-contained. The other one that I wanted to talk about, and somebody mentioned it in the chat, was Skill Teaser Takagi-san, which I watched the anime and read a little bit of the manga, and it's a comedy about these 2 kids. Takagi is constantly teasing Nishikata. I think I said those names right. And he, the boy in the series, he cannot deal with it, and he is trying to get back at her, but it always fails because he is so dumb in the nicest possible way. He's such a lovable fool, and she's just a great, wholesome character, and the 2 of them together is just it's a really sweet comedic manga about first love and comedy and growing up in school and stuff. I really liked it. And what else do I have here? I have the books behind me. I don't want to pull them out, but The Ancient Magus' Bride is another great series that I really love. It's an unconventional love story. It's more dark fantasy and supernatural stuff, but there is a friendship and romance that is at the core of it, because the title, Ancient Magus Bride, basically Chise, our main character, she is being sold at these sort of illegal auctions in London, and she is sold for millions of pounds to a character named Elias Ainsworth, who's a humanoid type dude with an animal skull for a head. And you soon learn that this story is about whether there really is a romance there, and he wants her as his bride, but it's really about fantasy elements and magic and dragons and spells and demons and stuff, but it's a fun series nonetheless, and beautiful artwork. So yeah, those there's probably more. I know some of you, some of the people in the chat mentioned other titles. Let's see. Oh, I need to point this out. Sorry. Freddie, also, Gio, I watched Millennium Actress and it was phenomenal. Thanks for recommending it to Jess. Thank you for watching it for him, because I really doubt he'll watch it anytime soon. But if you see him on his channel, tell him, hey, Gio's asking if he does a live stream. Type it in his chat. Gio's asking if you've watched Millennium Actress yet, just to see what happens. So yeah, Millennium Actress is fantastic. One of my favorite animated movies of all time. In my personal top 10. So yeah, that's. Do you have any other books that you want to talk about?
I went through my whole stack. I actually am surprised because I grabbed a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that the main thing to take from here today is celebrate more than just romantic love, and enjoy stories that are about the love between friends, because that's just as important as the love between you and your significant other.
Amen to that, brother. Before we wrap up, there are two things I want to talk about real quick. We are making an announcement, and it's in the description and the title of this episode. Everybody already knows what it is, so we're going to get to that. But before we do that...
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Before we get to the announcement, I have to talk about the the source of the announcement, I should say. InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor, where you can get all of the manga that we talked about. You can pretty much find them if you go to InStockTrades.com. You can get collected editions of comics. You can get manga up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts, tack on an extra 2% to that if you buy week to week. And if you order $50 or more in your collected editions order, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging that you can only get when you visit InStockTrades.com. And, oh, yeah, I'll talk about it in a second. Don't worry about it. And in the spirit of love, friendship, and all things wholesome, we got a nice little discount code for all of you wonderful Omnibros and Omnisis and OmniFam and all you wonderful guys and gals out there, because we love you and we want you guys to spend a happy weekend ordering books. And to do so, you're going to have to go to InStockTrades.com and you're going to type in, when you are on the checkout, the next In-Stock Trades code, which is Get on the Love Omnibus. That's right. You put in Get on the Love Omnibus and you will enjoy a 3% discount on your order. However, this code does not stack with the loyalty discount, and the code is valid from Friday, February 14th at midnight, basically 12:01, all the way up to Sunday, February 16th at 11:59 p.m. So you got a full weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to get all the books that you want with an extra juicy 3% discount to whatever they're already discounted on. So if it's a 50% book that came out this week, guess what? You can get it for 53% discount. You let me know of another website that does this, and I don't know. In-Stock Trades, making it possible. We love them so much, and we are so grateful that they are allowing us to share this code with you guys. In-Stock Trades, Omnibroslive, In-Stock Trades code, Get on the Love Omnibus. And I'm going to leave the code there for a little while. So everybody that's watching, they can use the code. We're going to share it on social media. We're going to do all that fun stuff. Don't worry about it. Just know that you got to get on the Love Omnibus. Gabe knows it. He's already on the Love Omnibus. Hell yeah. Eric, no, he doesn't hate it. He just doesn't like reading it, which is totally different. And the format and stuff. Not that he hates the stories or anything. And
he's watched some anime. He's watched some anime that he's enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm recommending him anime instead because I think he'll be an anime fan. So yeah, a silent voice. Cartoons. Yeah. A Silent Voice. I forgot to talk about that. That's a great manga.
I almost grabbed that one. I love that series. It's so good.
It's fantastic.
I think that one is more of a good series about learning more about yourself. I think, learning more about yourself and not being selfish and not being crude with people. And it comes out the other side as something that teaches about like what we've been talking about, like respecting friendships and stuff like that. And I love that series.
Oh, heck yeah. That's awesome. All right, chat. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another installment of our little manga show here at Omnibroslive. We do this twice a month. Next episode, still on February, we're going to talk solicits for all the manga coming out in March and what we've been reading and mini reviews, whatever. You gotta tune in. And then on March, I don't know if you're up for it, but I'm just throwing it out there, impromptu style. With March Madness, I think we can do a sports manga show. What do you think about that?
Down. I'm down.
Yay.
It'll be easier than a sports Western comics show, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I thought about we talked about it, right? About the sports comics, but there's not a whole lot to choose from.
Yeah, I'd have to do a little more research, but then even then it's kind of unfair because it's stuff that I haven't read, so it doesn't really help. Maybe for like the Western side of stuff, we can do a March Madness style bracket for something, and like have a competition with some series that we love. I don't know. We'll think on that, but I think a sports manga show would be really great because I have read great sports manga that I really love.
Nice. Well, there you have it. That is the upcoming schedule for the manga show or Otaku Bros or whatever the hell we call ourselves. Tune in next Sunday for the news show with Omnidog himself hosting. So be sure to tune in for that. And then on Monday, we talk hauls, previews, and reads or a discussion topic. I don't know. You're just going to have to tune in to find out what hijinks will ensue. Gaijin Fry Guy, let me highlight you again. Let me take this off. There we go. Where can they find you on the internet?
You still can't find me at my channel because the Russians have still invaded it and won't give it back.
Dang it.
I know, it sucks. But you can find me on the this channel every at least Thursday. And you can find me on the Facebook page, the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community, where we talk about all things comics and all that jazz. And then the sister group, Otaku's Farm, where we talk about all of the manga and anime. Before I pass it off to Gio, I'm going to recommend if you're wanting to use the 3% code for some new manga, you want to harvest some more mangoes this weekend, of the ones that we talked about, I will highly recommend because they're still pretty fresh and young series to jump into. Komi and Beastars, because they're two of my favorites right now. This one's only got 4 volumes. This one's only got 5. They're pretty young in their runs, so this is a great chance to hop into a couple of really fantastic titles.
And just one more time, the IST code is Get On The Love Omnibus. Enjoy a 3% discount on that order. So go do it, baby. As for myself, you can find me on my channel on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So yeah, I'm going to pimp out my channel. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you can. I will appreciate it. We're really close to, I think, 1,800, which is exciting. I just put out a video on all the Wonderfest figurines that are coming out of part 1 because there's way too much stuff. So please check that out. A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube. Chat, you have been wonderful. I love every single one of you. Bavarian, I didn't want to highlight the comment, but I wish you nothing but the best, and just try and be I don't the way I'm going to say this is going to sound terrible, but be happy and try and maybe read your favorite book, watch your favorite movie, and don't think about that stuff. I know it sucks and life just throws curveballs at you, but you got to throw them back and try and enjoy and make the most out of it. So I wish you nothing but the very best, man. And to everybody else tuning in, thank you. Leave your comments down below about your favorite romance manga. I'm very interested in finding out as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will catch all of you on our next stream. Goodbye, everybody.